Hello, listeners, and welcome to Dragon Talk, where we highlight the diverse stories, voices, and experiences that shape our HCC community. I'm your host, Ryan Record, and today's episode is dedicated to our veterans, service members, and military families, the heart of a community built on service, resilience, and pride. Whether you're just getting started, coming back to finish up, or exploring your next chapter, you're not doing it alone. Today, we'll be talking with the incredible team from the veteran and military services here on campus who help make that support possible. We're going to be diving into the resources that are available, how to use your education benefits, and how to find connection and community here at HCC. Our first guest, a veteran and father here who has experienced the process of becoming a student after his military journey. He also happens to be an intern here with Dragon Podcasts, and whose insight helped bring this episode to life. I'd like to welcome John Fry to the podcast.
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great, John, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for all of your hard work so far, and I think this is a very interesting topic to dive into for all the veterans out there looking to use their benefits wisely.
I agree. It's also one thing that's never really covered and really spoken out about.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I had never considered it as, a civilian, but the veterans process can be a bit convoluted and confusing, as you may know. So tell us a bit about your background as to why you ended up here at HCC.
So, Ryan, when I was 18, I joined the Marine Corps. Once I got out, I joined the local fire department and became an EMT and did that for 12 years up in Pennsylvania. And when I came to HCC, everybody was here to support me. Heather Boswell, the advisor, told me everything I needed to know. Everything about how to use my benefits, everything about getting early registration, early access to classes by vets, all these extra things that are available to us was never explained to me before. So once that was all explained to me, how to use my benefits, what the payment's like, how to pay for school, who's paying for it, how to get the purchase orders. Once that was explained to me, I actually enjoyed going to school again.
I'm glad you ended up here pursuing something that you're passionate about. So tell us about how your experience has been with the VA at HCC so far.
It's been phenomenal. I couldn't have asked for a better place to learn about my benefits and education. They, again, Heather Boswell to the registrar's office, everyone that's behind the scenes helps. Everybody behind the scenes ensures that you're taken care of as a student. And especially as a non-traditional student, as a veteran, as an adult learner, you are taken care of and guided. Because going back to school for me was terrifying. When I came here and switched my major, everything fell in line.
So do you know what kind of student veteran organizations are available or that you would recommend?
Right now, HCC is lacking in that one way of supporting the veterans. By not having a veteran student organization, there's no representation amongst the students. And there's 4 steps, and it's pretty simple from what has been explained to me. To get recognized, you need an official governing document to plan out your chapter, recognition by your institution as a registered student organization, an elected group of student leaders, your president, your vice president, treasurer, et cetera, and a member of your faculty or staff serving as an advisor, which we do have somebody willing to be the faculty. We just need the students to do that.
Would that be something that you would be interested in assisting with?
I would love to assist in that. Right now, I'm about to have shoulder surgery, so it's not something I'm willing to take on right at this moment. But I'm here to support them and get them any, word out there about the organization.
So I understand we have like a student veteran lounge here at the college. Could you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, you just need to go up to the military compliance and reporting specialist, who's Remy Taflon. She will have the cards to the lounge where you have access to printers, you have access to computers, and the best part is you have access to snacks and community in that room. There's a handful of people that I know that go in there, but outside of that, I wish more students knew about it.
Yeah, man, that's so cool. I had no idea that something like that existed either. So it's good to know that there is a nice quiet nook for veterans to go that's their own space. So could you share with us like a success story that highlights the impact that the veteran and military services here at HCC has helped you with?
Yeah. In order for me to come be the intern here, it took them certifying me. It took them explaining everything to me. That's my success story, is that I'm here doing an internship for Dragon Podcast which is my ultimate goal, is to do podcasting. And without the support of the VA, without support of the Veterans Administration within the HCC, I don't think I would be here. I think I would have quit school. I would have quit my Chapter 31 benefits and never gone to school again.
Could you tell us a bit about like what Chapter 31 is and how that's helped you?
Yeah, I can. Chapter 31 is Veterans Readiness and Education. It is separate from the GI Bill. So in order for me, I have a disability rating with the VA, which gave me access to vocational education. So going from being an EMT for 12 years, I got into audio, video, media production through that.
Cool. Well, John, thank you so much for being the insight to starting this episode and for sharing your insights about how awesome the veteran and military services here are at the college.
Thanks, Ryan.
Our next guest is Gene Melvin from Academic Advising. Veteran and military affiliated students often have unique pathways and timelines. We're grateful to have you here to speak on what can be expected once they officially enroll. Joining me today is Gene Melvin, the VA Cohort Liaison, VA advisor for others. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
It's a pleasure to have you. And if you could start by telling us a bit about your background and how you got into this job.
So I was in education for a long time and decided I wanted to change. I'm from a military family. So originally I came to HCC to work as the SCO for VA benefits. But after being there for a while, decided to kind of pivot and now work in advising and really enjoy that as well.
That's awesome. What do you wish that every new veteran student knew coming in on day one?
I checked in with the SCO that's here now, Remy, and we kind of put our heads together for this. I guess the first thing is know that you are here to use your benefits and you want to actually do something with them. Have an idea of what you want to be using the benefits to aim you towards. That being said, just know that it is a great benefit. And if you use it wisely, it can take you places. If you're not sure what you want to do with it, I would never say education is a waste of money. But if you spend a lot of time here changing your major and not getting towards a goal, you're not using the benefit the way that it was meant to be used.
That's interesting. But for reference, are students, veteran students, allowed to adjust their major? And just curious, how many times can you do that before the VA is like, well, you've had your time?
The VA will let you do that. And we do have students who have multiple changes of major. So, I mean, you just need to think if you're here after 5 semesters, 6 semesters, and you are only halfway towards an associate's degree in something, that you need to start making some conscious choices about where you want your education to bring you.
Right, right. So for students looking to use their benefits, can you explain what that process looks like?
So the first thing you're going to do is get your certificate of eligibility from the VA. Once you have your certificate of eligibility, you come to HCC, meet your SCO, fill in the paperwork for us. We need the COE. If you are a vet yourself, we usually ask for the DD-214. And then really that's all you have to provide in the beginning.
Okay.
Every semester, you need to submit a promissory note. That is telling the SCO that, yes, please use my benefits for this term. People do it the first semester and then don't remember to do it after that. And here's the thing, it's the benefits, it's like your bank account. And Remy is not going to go into your bank account and take money unless you ask her to. So every semester you have to request that the benefits be utilized. I know when I was the SCO and I know Remy now, we chase a lot of people every semester. Are you using benefits this term? Do you want to use benefits this term? And she'll also wanted me to tell you, check your HCC email, because we send that email to the HCC email that if you're not checking, you don't see.
I mean, that does seem like it would be common sense, but you're also throwing a lot of acronyms around. And as somebody that's not in that field, I'm kind of like, What is this DDT and this SEO?
So COE is Certificate of Eligibility.
Okay.
And that is from the VA makes the decision at somewhere more important than we are. Yes, you are getting benefits. They decide the percentage of benefits based on how many years you were in service. Once that certificate of eligibility, you get that and you come here. Your DD 214, if you're a veteran, that's your like paperwork for getting out. Means you're out of the service. And SCO is a school certifying official, and that is the person who actually sends your benefits to the VA.
Got you. Thank you for the clarification.
Sure, I know. Yeah, military, lots of acronyms.
So what documents or information should students have ready before meeting you in your office?
So for the SCO, it's what we just talked about, the COE and your DD 214. For an advisor, when you're going to an appointment as an advisee, you need to know which program, which area of study you're using, because your certification goes to the VA based on what program of study you have, and your classes have to fit in that program of study. So if you're changing a program of study, you need to talk to your SCO and let her know. The promissory note should have a spot where you're talking about which program of study you're using. So, if you go to an advisor and say, I want to do all visual arts classes, but what the SCO has on file is that you are a business major, then those classes are not in your program of study. So you need to make sure that what you're choosing each semester fits the program of study that you have.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
If you want to concentrate on more than one thing, you are allowed to have a dual major.
Okay.
So, and this happens sometimes with the students who are in allied health. You only can take a certain number of courses because a lot of the courses are in sequence. If you need to take your 100 level biology and you take your math and maybe, at some point you don't have any more credits in that program of study for a semester. Maybe all you have left are 4 credits. But you want to be full-time to get your full housing allowance. So what we can do is add a general studies major, and you can choose classes that fit both. Okay. And when the certification gets sent to the VA, it will note that you are using a dual major.
No, that makes sense. And yeah, it's great to have that flexibility. So good to know y'all can work some magic up there.
We try.
So just curious, is there a minimum GPA requirement to keep your benefits? And if so, what is that threshold?
So there's really not. As long as you're in good standing at the college, then we can certify you.
Okay.
So whatever the standing is that you are progressing through your degree at HCC, as long as you meet those requirements, we can send your certifications to the VA.
Right on. So do students have to pay back their benefits if they withdraw or fail a course?
Good question. Something that we talk about all the time with students. So there's an earned F and there's an unearned F. So if you earn the F, if you go to class, if you finish out the semester by attending, that is considered an earned F and you do not have to pay that back. There's no change to the VA. And you're allowed to retake the class and the VA will pay for it.
Okay.
But if you have an unearned F, if you have an NA for never attended, if you have an FW for fail to withdraw, your instructors will report a last date of attendance. And your SCO has to report that last date of attendance to the VA. So if you stopped going to class in November, 3 or 4 weeks before your class ended, we report that date to the VA. And there may be a debt. So you would owe HCC the remainder of the payment for class because they'll have to pay the VA back for the money the VA sent. You also may owe book money and your MHA, your military housing allowance. You may owe some of that back as well.
Interesting. That's definitely good information to know. Hey, life happens and
so it's important to talk to the SCO if you're having issues. Obviously, always talk to your instructors, but let the SCO know what's going on and kind of ask. One of the biggest issues is students don't ask the questions. They just kind of either stop going and let that decision be their inactivity. And it can be a lot of money. The housing rate in this area is like $2,500 a month. And if you stop going to class in February because you have stuff going on, which we understand a lot of people have stuff going on, but if you don't report that to the SCO and the SCO doesn't end your certification, you would owe $2,500 for March, $2,500 for April. And that's a big amount of money to pay back.
Right. Yeah, that definitely adds up. So, yeah, transparency is key. Just let y'all know if something's going on.
100%.
Gotcha. So, how should students determine if the GI Bill or the VR&E suits them best?
So, we are not the experts on that at all. You need to do that at the VA level.
Gotcha.
But I will say most people would tell you that use your VR&E first and then go into using your GI Bill.
Okay.
But, talk to your counselor if you are a VR&E student and just make sure that's kind of what's going to be best for you.
So how should students check with you to make sure their classes are VA approved degree requirements?
So when you as a student are in your My Progress, when you're looking at your major, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a section that says Other. If your classes are in Other, it could be because you failed it and it's still sitting there. That's normal. Your labs should go down there because most of them have a 0 credit. And so they go down to the Other section. But if you selected business management and it shows up down there, we need to figure out why.
Okay.
Another way is to, talk to your advisor. They can look in the program and see, but mainly it's using the My Progress and just make sure everything slots into a spot in your planner.
Yeah, that's great.
Also, you can request a review from your advisor in your My Progress. There's a little button that says request review, and it sends a note to your advisor. And if they see there's something not in your program of study, they would contact you.
It's great information.
Yeah.
So just curious, how do summer or accelerated coursework affect veterans' housing allowance?
So it does have an effect. So, for a 15-week term, 12 is full-time. With the 7-week terms, it's less. Mm-hmm. So any shorter term, you need less credits to be full-time. Usually over the winter term, it's just the one class because winter term is only 21 days. So choose accordingly if you're picking a class for winter. But for the 7-week terms, you are getting your housing allowance for those 7 weeks. So in spring, from 126 to 314, then there's a break. It starts on 323. So between March 14th and March 23rd, there is no housing paid. Certifications are sent via date. So if you have, I like to call them 7A, 7B, just to keep them separate.
Okay.
If you have a 15-week class and a 7A class and a 7B class, 3 certifications go to the VA. 3 different ones.
Wow.
So they make the adjustments on their end about housing and how it overlaps. So if you do have only one 15-week class and then you have some 7 weeks, that period in between, you may not get housing.
It's definitely important to know. And Jean, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you for coming on Dragon Talk to share your expertise.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate the chance to tell the veterans what's going to help make them successful.
We appreciate all that valuable information, Jean. That support and guidance is very important in shaping the student's experience and helping them move confidently towards their goals. And our next guest will share with us how the process works behind the scenes. I have the privilege of sitting down with
Laura Nelson-Smith, the Assistant Registrar,
to tell us a bit more about the lovely benefits that we offer here. Tell us about your background and why you chose this career.
I've been in education since about 2005. I started at Johns Hopkins. I've worked in career services, disability support for international students as well as veterans. Majority of my time, I want to say I've been a registrar. I've been in this role since September 15th, so it's still a bit new to me how it works here. So I'm just happy to be here.
You certainly have the experience that speaks for itself, but to step into such I guess it's not new shoes per se, but a new role at a new place and just hit the ground running. Do you have the resources you need to be successful here?
The face of the VA department right now has mainly been our military compliance specialist, Remy Taflon, who's in 218B. So majority of the time when new students come, they're actually meeting with her face to face, going over what they need to submit, benefits they would qualify for. But I do make time to go to the lounge, see what students in there, replenishing. I have been sending out emails just to let them know everything that that's been going on, especially during the shutdown, because that was a long time of uncertainty. And I know a lot of people worried. Some students weren't getting their housing allowance, which I know can be quite a headache, and something makes you nervous and anxiety. I understand all that.
So during a government shutdown, how are benefit payments affected?
So the regular tuition fees, those still go through because we're still able to certify. The main affected would be like our VRE students, our Chapter 1 students. Unfortunately, they can't get their funding until their counselor actually sends us their PO number. And unfortunately, those counselors all furloughed during that time frame.
So if and when like the VA payments are delayed, what kind of support network or system does HCC provide to the students so they're not penalized?
We do defer their payments. So one key thing before the start of each term, a student must fill out the promissory note. Promissory note is probably one of the most important things to do.
Right on. So tell us, like, what does the Veterans and Military Services do here at the college?
So the main things, we make sure the students are getting the correct benefits. For those who are new, we have those that are dependents of our veterans. So basically their mother, father, whomever has passed down their benefits, educational benefits to them. A lot of times when students come to us, since we are at a community college, they've already been enrollment manager, but we have to transfer them over.
So what forms and deadlines should student veterans be aware of each semester?
Before the term starts, they need to fill out a promissory note, which is found on our website. So we have to put your information in 30 days within it. Any changes have to be submitted within 60 days. If you're dropping a course, if you think you might have to move and you might just need to put yourself on pause or transfer if you're taking courses at another school as well. So any changes you make, we need to know. Even in your trouble of failing class or anything like that, like still let us know. In regards to like having to repeat classes, having to drop classes, or even change the week programs, like that is a major. I always tell students to go online first, check the VA website. It will give you a link to our school for the programs that are approved, which is key. We're here to assist you, basically, as much as we can, and we're very transparent. I'm a very blunt, direct individual, so like I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm just going to tell you the way it is. Remy seems to be very direct as well. She got a lot more jokes, though. Kind of more just straightforward, so which is why she's more or less the facing of it, too. So,
yeah, transparency. Once again, is everything. And Jean was saying that they can work some magic, but coming in with like a goal, a plan helps immensely.
Right, it does. It does. Also, I've noticed just for any people that are just starting, like especially the dependents, they're coming in with their parents. And a lot of times they don't speak what they want to say if their parents here, because we have those parents that want to be like, oh, they're doing this and da-da, and the student doesn't want to.
Yeah.
So we always say, okay, well, we'll have you come back. We'll reach out to you. So they can let us know what they really want to do, if it's even a different degree program or they're thinking about how many credits they really feel they can take. Like we want to make sure they do what they need to do and stay on task. And we want them to feel comfortable enough to come to us. Like I said, sometimes it's without the parents, and we totally get that.
Yeah.
We want to make sure you're doing what you want to do. So
they might be dependents, but they're still adults. And, you know, sometimes their parents want to be all over their lives, but it's good to know they have the flexibility to be themselves here. So as an outsider, hearing about all these different chapters 31, 33, 35, I was like, what is all this about? So I'm just curious, like, what determines a student's eligibility for each of these chapters? Could you explain that?
Yes. So Chapter 31, it's the vocational readiness program. Those are more career placement. Those are ones that receive like majority of the housing allowance. We have our Chapter 33 and Chapter 35, which are more or less the dependents, the spouses of military veterans, which their benefits are passed down from, like I said, either a spouse, guardian, their parents, whatever. But I mean, the great thing about all the benefits here, like I said, their tuition and fees are paid for as long as they submit that promissory note. And I want to say it is a bit confusing, but on our website, which breaks down everything, what chapters what we have, how you'll be eligible, where to go to find information in regards to everything from what you qualify for, what you don't qualify for, any additional fees that might have to come out of pocket, as well as deadlines, resources for the career counseling, any type of mental assistance you might need. Just everything is very detail-oriented outline on our website. Like the only thing I would probably change in there just to put our location, actual location, so they know.
Okay.
Like I said, as you know, the different parts of school are under construction, so we're pretty much a mosh pit between advising, financial aid, just everybody all in one section.
I'm sure there's a lot of bumping elbows in those offices. Could you go into like what expenses can be covered under each chapter?
So pretty much everything is covered. It's just a matter of full-time, part-time to see how much you're getting covered. And then it outlines, I mean, there are certain things that won't be covered, like the housing allowance. Some of them do get housing allowance, some of them don't get housing allowance. There's also some that get moving allowance as well. So it depends on what chapter. Like I said, it's broken down on the website. And then we can go over that when you come in one by one too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a
We
lot.
could be here all day talking about all the expenses, right?
Could.
And last question. What tutoring, counseling, or career placement are available to students and dependents here?
So because our school is smaller, we don't have a dedicated tutoring system that is only privileged to the VA students as well as career services. So we still direct them to the services that everyone else uses. So we will look into services for you, like depending on your chapter. If it's something where you need one-on-one tutoring and you feel like you need more than what is here for you for free, we will reach out to see if you can get the allowance to pay for that as well.
Awesome. And Lauren, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Absolute privilege and pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's very nice to meet you. Sorry I couldn't find this sooner, but now that I know.
Yeah, for those who don't know, we're hiding in a cave in a basement somewhere. And that wraps up another special episode of Dragon Talk. A huge thank you to our veteran and military services team for all the incredible work they do every day. And to all of our veterans and military families for your service, sacrifice, and continued contributions to our community. If you'd like to learn more about HCC's veteran resources, visit howardcc.edu/veterans or reach out directly to the Veteran and Military Services Office here on campus for some one-on-one guidance. At HCC, we don't just welcome veterans, we support you, we stand with you, and we walk beside you every step of the way. And if you'd like to hear more about what's happening in Dragon Country, be sure to subscribe, share, and stay connected. You can find Dragon Talk on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Dragon Podcasts. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dragon Talk. This is Ryan Record, signing out.